Farmers, Gardeners, and Cooks. My name is Jennifer. Welcome to Miles Away Farm, or welcome back. Today in the kitchen, we are making what is supposed to be the best buffalo chicken chili. Are you guys one of those people that you will go after a recipe simply because it matches things in your fridge or in your freezer that you've been needing to use up? This is kind of in that category. We are definitely into fall at this point. It is the September 30th, and we had a very, very, very light frost in the big garden last night. It was very spotty. It was one of those frosts that just hit certain areas. So it didn't hit the raised bed garden, but it did hit the big garden a little bit. And so the basil looks very sad this morning. The melons look very sad this morning. The tomatoes are still fine. Peppers are still fine. The sorghum is still fine. So it was an interesting kind of little patchy. I think we just kind of dipped right in and out of 32. And so we are fully into fall soup and stew season. I love this time of year. And I don't know how I ran across this recipe. I think somebody posted it as a link in a conversation that was happening online, because this is not somebody that I normally follow. And I thought, buffalo chicken chili, that sounds really good. My husband loves all things spicy. He is a huge sucker for hot sauce. And I thought this uses a half a cup of Frank's hot sauce. I'm using a half a cup of a homemade hot sauce that is based on a Frank's hot sauce. I actually call it not Frank's. That's made from cayenne peppers that I made last year. Frank's is primarily a cayenne pepper hot sauce. And so I thought it would be fun to use my homemade hot sauce in this. And then instead of chicken, I'm using some ground turkey. We have quite a bit of ground turkey in our freezer because we butchered several large, older tom turkeys last year. And then it also had carrots and celery in it. And I have homegrown celery that I'm growing this year, so I thought that would be fun to include. I have some carrots that have been in my fridge since last fall that are still okay, and so I included those. Weirdly, it did not include onion, and I thought that was very strange to have a chili recipe that didn't include onion in it, so I went ahead and included onion in it. And then some of my canned, off-the-shelf, pressure canned beans, can of black beans, and a can of chili beans. And in my case, I used some of my spiced pinto beans, which I have a recipe for on the channel. So homemade buffalo chicken chili, not as spicy as I was anticipating. And honestly, is this the best award-winning chicken chili I've ever had? Nah, not really, but it's still delicious. It's a really good chili. And so I thought I'd share the recipe with you guys. It comes together very quickly and is a nice change of pace from your standard kind of beef chili stew recipe. So homemade buffalo chicken chili. Let's get started. So here we have our celery is already sliced up. And then I've got a couple of my sweet bullhorn style peppers in here, some carrots, an onion, which wasn't included in the original recipe, and then quite a bit of garlic, about 5 cloves. And I'm going to run that in my food processor until it's literally just a paste. So I'm grinding this completely down. This is definitely one of those instances where having a food processor is a big bonus. And then here's my ground turkey. This is 2 pounds of ground turkey. And obviously you could use chicken, and you could use your food processor to just grind up chicken breasts or chicken thighs. I'm browning that in a skillet with about a tablespoon of oil. And I'm looking to cook off that moisture and get a little bit of actual browning on there for flavor. And then in goes my vegetable paste mix. And I'm going to cook this enough to soften those vegetables before I start adding all the other liquid. Again, just trying to get a little bit of flavor on there from that extra heat. We're using a half a cup of hot sauce. You could use whatever kind you wanted. Traditionally, buffalo chicken wings are made with Frank's hot sauce, and this is my not Frank's version. And then we have 5 tablespoons of chili powder. This is a very mild chili powder that I actually scrounged from an estate sale that had like 4 or 5 different containers of chili powder in the cupboard. And I brought them home and combined them all together. I'm weird that way, but I love salvaging things like that. And then also getting added to this some salt and pepper, a tablespoon of paprika. I used a smoked paprika, and a tablespoon of cumin. And I went pretty light on the cumin because it called for 2 tablespoons and that just seemed like a lot to me. So I backed off on that a little bit. There is cumin in my canned pinto beans as well. 2 cups of fresh diced tomatoes and then a quart of already cooked canned tomatoes. So I'm gonna get a combination there of like a cooked tomato flavor and a more fresh tomato flavor. Getting that all stirred together, everybody happy. And then I decided to add a tablespoon of tomato paste because the original recipe called for tomato sauce and I didn't have any tomato sauce on hand, so I thought I'd up the tomato flavor a little bit by adding some of my homemade tomato paste. I have a video on that as well. You can see the cumin and the paprika in there in addition. Giving that a good stir. And then I'm gonna simmer this on the back burner on the lowest heat for about an hour. So I want all of those flavors to thoroughly blend and that turkey, which was an older turkey, to get as tender as possible. So here's our chili ready to go into bowls. Beautiful and really pretty hands-off, especially because you're grinding all those vegetables together, which makes quick work of it. We're topping here with a little bit of pre-shredded cheese that I had on hand. It's just random from a pizza party, so it's a mix of things. And then some nice fresh avocado. Just delicious. So this is a lovely fall, honestly, weeknight meal. It comes together really quickly. It's a little bit on the lighter side, and I think it's worth making. Thanks for watching, tribe. If you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, and share. I have new content coming out every week.